Okay, I think we're live. So, hello to everyone. I know a lot of you guys are waiting in the chat right now. September 11th, 2021. 20 years ago, something really, really mind-numbingly unforgettable happened. And I can't remember what. There's a lot of other stuff going on in the news, gang, particularly stuff that is hard-hitting to us here in Missouri, having to do with Biden, totalitarianism, and the beer flu. So we're going to talk about that tonight and what we could do in Missouri and what is currently being done. So first off, I want to welcome all of you guys. Give us a 5x5. Let us know if you can hear us okay on the good old-fashioned YouTube, the CIA tube, the NSA tube. 5x5. And we have plenty of people in the chat here. We have Think You Can, all the way from Rhode Island to the Missouri Liberty Alliance Discord server. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
The American Free Press is here from California. And towards the end here, I'll let you guys know Alex with the American Free Press is going to actually make an alliance similar to ours in the state of California. So thank you for joining, Alex. We have Casey Rich from Kansas City. We have Jimmy D, of course, everyone's favorite. Ganai is here as well, and we even have GFI. Greg from Iowa is here to hear what we're doing in the state of Missouri, and it's an honor to have all of you. And we're getting 5x5s right and left, gang. Okay, I'll tell you what, we can start a general conversation in just a few moments. I just wanted to let you guys know something right away as we're starting the show. Wednesday, September 15th, there is a rally in Jefferson City. It's, if at all possible, if you guys can make time Wednesday to go up to Jefferson City, I highly recommend it. We'll go into the reasons why here later on in the podcast. I think it's being sponsored by Right Side Moms. I did go to their meeting again yesterday. Guys, I can't recommend their Facebook page enough. It's a vast amount of wonderful resources. They're getting some very, very good stuff. I didn't even know about this rally if it weren't for Right Side Moms, but I also heard about it from a representative I was talking to this morning as well. So hello to everyone joining us on YouTube. We have Prepared Homestead with us. So Travis is in the house. Thank you for joining us, Travis.
Hey, Travis.
Yep. And let's see, we have, Retro Life, Juicin' with Jen, Sheraton Farmer, Voodoo Queen, Nevada Cario, Aurora Borealis. Let's see, and there's others too. We have Liberty Revolutionary. Hey, buddy. Voodoo Queen, Resin Nun. And I think that's pretty much it for now anyway. So big hello, a big shout out to everybody. And let me bring up a few things here before we get into our general conversation. First off, I'm going to talk about the Serum Rebellion, and that's the link that you see right now. I'll be very, very happy if you guys want to be able to watch this after the program is over. I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the chat here, so you guys can bring it up on your computer screens. 21 states, gang. 21 states are saying no to Joe Biden. And apparently, they're doing a class action lawsuit in Washington, D.C. To try and shut down what Biden has started. So we are not alone. Missouri is not alone. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought someone was wanting to talk. Okay, so this is what's going on, basically. Class action lawsuit. I don't have all the details of it yet, but we will get into that in just a little bit. We'll lightly cover everything. Right Side Moms. This is where I got some information about a letter from 16 senators that are actually going to Parson, and they're asking for an emergency session, basically, having to do with all things beer flu. There's a lot of signatures on here. Pardon me. So I am going to go ahead and get you guys a shortcut as best I can. Well, I'll tell you what, to Right Side Moms.
Patrick,
Yeah.
I've got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that letter, I noticed the date on it, was yesterday.
Yes.
How much of that do you think was in response to the calls that went into Jeff City?
I think probably a lot of it had to do with calls.
Okay, that's the point I was trying to make.
Yep. I think the phone
Squeaky
calls.
wheel gets it greased.
Yep. The phone calls are making a difference, gang. And I'm going to ask you guys to keep up the phone calls. I do realize you cannot leave a message with Parson. The voicemail box is full, email box is full. So the governor doesn't know what the people want until he finds the time or the resources to record all that data from voicemail and from email and starts emptying some of that stuff out so people can email again. My understanding is that's true with many senators' emails as well. So I'm not sure about any representatives. I've not heard any reports. My emails have gone through just fine. Uh, so I've not had a problem, but my emails were yesterday. So go
Add
ahead.
something real quick.
Sure.
Yes, as far as Parsons' email, I was actually able to email him today. I couldn't get through on the phone,
Okay.
but the
Gotcha.
phone was the message or whatever you call voicemail was all blown out. But I got a email through.
Okay. Good for you. Okay. So he's starting to clear out his email then. Thank you for that, by the way.
And I actually got to talk to someone in his office, Patrick.
Yep. You sure did. Guys, one more thing I want to show you before we go on to our general discussion here, and we'll get into more specifics during the general discussion. It's just that I don't want to dominate, but in fact, I want lots of participation. What I'm going to do is cover a few things here first. Rowden, who is the deputy pro tem, or the Senate Majority Leader, I meant however you want to call him, says he stands with the people of Missouri, doesn't like what Biden's doing, and hates this whole totalitarian thing. But I want to let you guys know, if you look at this document here from Right Side Moms, unless my eyes are, I'm older, unless my eyes are failing me, I'm not fighting Rowden on this document. Unless I'm making a mistake here. I'm going through the names again, and I'm not seeing Rowden. You see, this is what my point is, guys. It wasn't to pick on Rowden. It was that words are cheap. Words are very cheap. If you have a senator or or even a House member say, "Yeah, I'm for the Second Amendment," were you a co-sponsor on the Second Amendment preservation? Well, I can't do that, but I am all about the Second Amendment. Okay, now I see where you stand. Rowden, if you're watching this, get your name on this document if you want me to believe you. I'm sorry, sir. Words are too cheap, especially with politicians. Words are very cheap with politicians. Okay, so we've covered that. I'm going to go to Governor Mike Parsons. Now, once again, this is on Twitter, and this is the way he chooses to communicate most of the time, by the way, if those of you are not familiar. He says our administration will reject the Biden administration's attempt to enforce an unconstitutional federal vaccine mandate for Missourians and private businesses. Coming down a little bit further, he says the office of governor has been in communication with leadership from the Missouri General Assembly and the General and Attorney General's office to align resources for a pending legal fight. We're talking about the class action lawsuits, 21 states. I don't know that we're doing anything individually. I think we're joining together with the other states as a show of force. And here is this document. So if you guys like, here is Parson on Twitter. You guys want to go check it out. But really, what you're going to go see is this document right here. Right here. There we go. And this one here speaks a little bit more to what Biden is attempting to do through OSHA, which affects Missouri businesses. This is getting complicated, gang. And also, it was a smart move on Biden's part to go through an agency like OSHA to enforce, I said the V word earlier. Let's just say the serum mandates, the muzzle mandates. OSHA apparently will be his weapon of choice. Okay, that's all I had to cover for the broad-based stuff. So we can start our general discussion. So anyone can join at this time. I'm seeing you guys are putting in a lot of stuff. Let's see, emails and calls out. Thank you, Aurora, for emails and calls. Thank you all for joining tonight, says Ganai. I agree. Thank you very much, Ganai, for mentioning that. Let's see, political parasites. Yeah, I think Liberty was talking about when I was talking about Rowden, maybe. Let's see, when is Parsons done traveling the state in order to call special sessions? Another very good question. So, but this is our bicentennial, Ganai. So apparently, Parson is very busy celebrating that. Talk is cheap. Want to see some action? That's right. We're the show me state. Show me the truth. That's right. Okay, guys. General discussion. You guys have anything to say based on the broad strokes on the information? We'll get into nuts and bolts if we need to.
I got a little something to say.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Number one, it's all fine and dandy, the stance that he's taken on Twitter and Facebook and all that happy stuff. And I'm glad to join this 21 state lawsuit and all of that stuff. But quite frankly, I think he's taken the fight to them on their turf. And I don't think he's going to get the outcome he wants to see. I think to protect the Missouri people, flat out, we have to demand this special session and get our legislators to put some kind of stop block in place, a lawful stop block, so we in Missouri are literally safe, if you will. Kind of like SEPA. You know, we don't have to listen to any more of their junk coming down the road. So regardless of how tough he sounds, and he's taken the fight to them, let them come to our turf and, or our turf, just take preemptive measures and just say, we don't care. You're not coming in our state with that nonsense. There's my comment.
Agreed. If they want to take it to a D.C. court, and by the way, to go to the federal government and complain about the federal government through a federal court system, I mean, it's kind of like going after the banks for manipulating gold and silver, isn't it? You know, kinda, maybe.
Nothing's gonna get done.
Yeah. So,
hey, Patrick.
Yeah.
Hey, what about everybody's suing, but what about qualified immunity? How's that going to play into all these lawsuits?
I have no idea. I don't have any information really to go on yet. For instance, I do know that the senators are trying to get a special session going together. I'm not sure of the House at this point. I don't know if there's enough, even anywhere near enough support. The reason why I brought up that letter from Right Side Moms, which was, signed by 16 senators, is there are other senators that are publicly putting out on Facebook and on Twitter that they are against what Biden's doing, but they haven't put their name on the letter. Talk is cheap. This is the show me state. Rowden, get your name on that letter. Sign it, please. If you really mean it,
Yes.
Sign it.
Yes, and my senator as well, Mr. Paul Whelan. Let's see your signature on there.
Yep.
Haven't seen that as yet.
Now you got something to chat with him about Monday morning, don't you, Jimmy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do.
Yep. Let's see.
Well,
Go ahead.
this would be another good point too, with those that are looking to get reelected or move on to federal House or Senate too. If we don't see your name on here, then it's a good key point not to vote for them.
Yep. It makes a great voter guide, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Whether or not you believe in the serum almost is irrelevant at this point. It's the tactics being used by the federal government at this point to try and force something on the American people. This is, guys, we can use the fun words. It's un-American. It's unpatriotic, right? We could do that, and we can smile and point at Biden and say, he's unpatriotic. What he is a totalitarian dictator. Let's call it what it is. We're becoming a banana republic with this man at the helm. This is serious stuff here, gang. This is not a joke anymore, especially when he is threatening to remove governors. You heard me correctly. Remove governors that disagree with him. Not to mention the fact that anyone who has not been serumized is now the enemy. If you haven't taken the serum, you're a part of the problem. What, where does he get off as an American president actually calling Americans that are exercising their freedom of choice guaranteed in the First Amendment of the Constitution, granted by God, literally a problem? So it's not, and by the way, my choice isn't hurting anyone. The problem is he's saying the science says it is hurting people.
Which
Okay.
is a bold-faced lie.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we can't go any further than that on YouTube, obviously, but I agree with you. There's a lot of misinformation going around, masquerading as quote unquote science. So
Did I throw something in here?
go for
I
it,
got a
man.
chance. All right. Well, you and I were talking about early day, and Jimmy, you and I were on the phone talking about it as far as how to handle this mandate thing Biden's trying to, force on us. Again, that's nice that the governor and the legislature are going to try and, do a lawsuit. By the time you can get it in court, they could already force this mandate. And what we were talking about is we need to get Governor Parsons to get the legislature together in an emergency session and actually pass a law here in Missouri that doesn't allow that, and then force them to file a lawsuit if they wish. Just like with SEPA, when we passed SEPA, they're the ones that had to, send a letter of intent and then, attempt a lawsuit. In other words, we took the aggressive, we were the aggressors. We hit them first and forced them to retaliate. That's what we got to do as far as these mandates go, because go file a lawsuit or whatever, but they could already be trying to force this as we're, waiting to get a court case. The governor needs to call an emergency session and then basically just pass law saying you can't impose these mandates here and force them to take it to court.
Yeah. There you go.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, actually, Liberty Revolutionary wrote something very interesting in here. He said 27 states, and we can have literally a convention. And so, of course, the convention he's talking about to abolish the federal government. I'm not sure I'd go that far at this point in time, but convention to literally take away some power from the president, from the Congress, give it back to the states. And, but we can do that with the 10th Amendment and anti-commandeering doctrine anyway. Secession. I'm not sure we're ready for secession because of one man, but we'll see how far Biden is willing to take this. But secession is always an option. I hate to even talk about that.
Yes, but a difficult one.
Yeah, a difficult one. Yeah. Let's see. Matt Perry has put in here, if OSHA is enforcing this mandate, let's ask to see the MSDS, Material Safety and Data Sheet, info on the on the serum and its ingredients. That is a very good point, Matt. I never thought of that.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
That's my husband.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yes, we're right now in Oregon. And what I can say is that in Oregon, there is a lawsuit. The police union and the firefighters union are suing the governor and the state of Oregon for the mask mandate and the requirement for them to get the jab. And that Governor Brown lost her qualified immunity because of it. So I'm not sure if that differs state to state and how that all works, but she did lose her qualified immunity and she can be personally sued. That's why both are being sued at this time. Whether that works in Libtard, Oregon, I don't know. That's why we are leaving in 4 weeks and heading to Missouri.
Hey, wonderful. That's great.
Yes, so we love freedom and we're heading there very soon. But that was my husband and he had mentioned that to me. And I can also say I just spent 6 days in the hospital, and this overcrowding of hospitals is a lie. I went into the emergency room, immediately got a room. I was tested not once, but 3 times, sorry, 3 times for COVID, and I came back negative all 3 times. Then an immunologist tested me for antibodies, and I have 7 times the antibodies of the jab and was advised not to get it. So I got a hospital room immediately. There was one nurse for 4 patients, which is incredible. So we're being told, the American people are being told a lot of lies. And I'm in a major hospital, not a tiny one. It's a huge, major regional hospital, as you know, next to Portland. So it's very disconcerting. And I heard the stories of the nurses and the CNAs crying in my room, being forced to take this jab that they don't want, because the patients that are coming in with COVID are vaxxed patients, not unvaxxed. It's all just a lie, and they're being forced to do this because they're single moms, single dads, and they had no choice to support their family. And this is wrong, and we as Americans need to get angry. When are we going to
We
get
do.
angry enough to do something?
You know, I was on the phone with Jimmy D and Casey Rich, earlier today before we went live and everything. I was telling Casey Rich, it's time for us old farts here to get angry, to get real angry. And we're not going to sit by and watch this stuff happen. We're done. We've got younger generations that will never know the freedoms we've had if we don't stand up and do something now. And
Yeah.
this isn't even about the serum anymore. This is about the totalitarianism. That's what it's all about. The constant overreach based on bad science. And my God, are they desperate? And I need to find evidence for this, gang. But you know who's exempt from the serum? The federal government,
Yes.
the president, the vice
Yep.
president,
Congress and the post office.
Congress, post office, Supreme Court. They don't have to take the jab. For some reason, they're exempt from this. It's kind of like sexual harassment laws. They're all exempt from sexual harassment laws. I'm not. Why is it, they get all these special privileges, Is it because we're a banana
Well,
republic?
Patrick, if
Go
you
ahead.
quit sexually harassing me,
Yeah, sorry about that, Jimmy. If you didn't dress so pretty all the time, Yeah.
Also, it's all this staff and their aides and stuff too, right? They're exempt too, right?
I don't know. I don't know about their aides. I don't think that it's extended to them. I think it's literally the government itself. The government, the federal.
Actually,
Go ahead.
now,
Kentucky did admit
Patrick, I
that
did hear
their
that
aides
they're
in the
exempt too.
federal White House are exempt.
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time? I think Jimmy hit you on the first part of it. Can you say that one more
Oh,
time for
I'm
me?
sorry. Yeah, Jen Psaki admitted that they were all exempt.
They were all exempt. Okay, then I stand corrected. Apparently, it is staff. Wow. Just wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
What I what I kind of think is the important thing is, is just not to fall in line. If they mandate and say you have to take the serum to keep your job, well, there's ample opportunities to either start your own business or get a new job. They're hiring everywhere. So I just say, people should stay strong. And if they don't believe it's good, don't take it.
Okay. Well, by the way, that's excellent advice there, Alex. People have, okay, once again, we've talked about this many times that there is a place for nonconformity, for noncompliance. There's a place for that. Along with legislation and noncompliance, we can win this thing, gang. And it doesn't matter where you are in the United States, but we have to fight. By the way, I want to say a big thank you to Liberty Revolutionary, who provided an updated map of the Serum Rebellion. It's on your screen right now. Apparently, it's 27 states. 27 states now have joined the Serum Rebellion. So, basically things are looking up. So that is more than half of the senators. So I don't think it'll be
Patrick?
half of the representatives, though. Yes.
I was going to respond to Jen Perry's last comment it's time that we got mad. And Patrick, you can vouch for me on this. You know I'm mad,
Yep.
and I intend. I'm
Hey,
just
Jimmy, you're starting
an
to break up
old
on us a little bit, buddy. Sorry.
fart, so I really don't care. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna scream as loud as I can at whoever I can for as long as I can until they change their evil way. Okay.
Yep. Agreed. And we all have to do this, by the
So
way. This is why what's happening on Wednesday, which is September 15th, there's a rally up in Jefferson City. I will get you the info. Right Side Moms, I believe, is the sponsor of this rally. We need as many people up in Jeff City as possible. Why, you may ask? Because, Patrick, aren't you the guy that keeps telling us that rallies and protests really don't matter that much? Yes, I am. But when we're having problems contacting the governor, and I did talk to a representative this morning that thought this rally might be very helpful. That's as much as he was willing to say. So I think, I'm going to take his word for it. I think he is basically saying that a show of people in Missouri that do care about these issues and want Missouri to do something for the Missourians need to show up at this rally. Now, I joked about it with my wife. She goes, that's in the middle of the week. It's short notice. People work. And so I was saying to my wife, that's okay. If you can't get off work, that's fine. Basically, just understand that you'll be part of the reason why we're living under the iron fist of communism. And she laughed uncomfortably, and I said, no, I'm not going to say that on the air. And here I just did, guys. So hopefully we can all laugh. And, we need to fight for freedom. We need to do this for our
Hey,
kids and our grandkids and for our posterity that we will never meet. We have to do it for
Pat,
them as well. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. One of the ways that some people are showing the anger, like Jen, Perry, and I, moving 2,000 miles to get away from these commies, you know what I mean? If people would just, I know a lot of people can't, just get out of those states and go to freedom states,
Hmm.
the other states would have to do something and change their ways, don't
Yep.
you think?
Yep. Yep. I
I
do.
mean, it's hard. It's hard to uproot your entire life and move 2,000 miles to a place you've never been before.
Hmm.
But, I mean, it's scary, but I'm more scared to stay here in Rhode Island and be starved to death or frozen to death in the winter or something because they shut off my gas meter because we don't get the thingy there in the arm.
Yeah.
So it's a big step.
It is.
And
yes, but we love you. So
Yep.
come on, we're waiting
yeah,
on
you
you.
guys are my brothers and sisters.
For those of you who don't know, at Travis's meeting 2 meetings ago, Think You Can was there. Literally all the way from Rhode Island came into Missouri for Travis's meeting and to look at property. And we had the honor of meeting him at Travis's meeting. And both him
Oh,
and
the
his
honor.
wife were there, by the way. So that was absolutely wonderful. And he chose Missouri, or Missouri chose him. I'm not sure which it is yet. Maybe that'll be in your book.
Honestly, Patrick, we chose Missouri because of you.
Because of me personally?
Yes, because
Oh God.
Oh,
honest,
geez, that's a
Patrick,
lot of
I'm being
responsibility.
Oh man,
I'm being honest
I'm
because
sorry.
no, because of your back from the days on your other channel. I
SEPA,
was
Second Amendment Preservation Act.
not just that,
Okay.
from the Truth, Money, and Freedom channel.
Hmm.
I
Wow.
used to listen to you all the time, and I told my wife, I said, I think we're going to move to Missouri.
Wow.
So
Well, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I feel an incredible weight of responsibility to keep
no,
Missouri
I
as
think
strong and free as possible now.
right,
You know.
right.
So, and
Hey,
go ahead.
hey, Think You Can. Did you actually find a place out there by Travis?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Our house is going live on the market on Tuesday, and we'll figure it out from there.
Right.
Living on the edge.
I know in one of his videos a few days ago, he said that there is property like in his area ish for sale. So
Yeah, we're going to be looking as soon as we get, an offer or whatever over here. We'll be probably back down there right away to try to make a deal somewhere.
Yeah, and the thing about Missouri is that it's fairly cheap compared to other states, especially in different areas. So that's a really good benefit. So you could sell your house in California or New York and get like 200 acres in Missouri for what your house is worth.
Not that much, but it's a lot better. It's a lot more reasonable out in Missouri than here in Rhode Island. That's for sure.
Yes, but that's rapidly changing, folks. As more people want to get out, yada, yada, yada. You see these, my wife and I also watch these prices of these rural properties, and they just keep ticking up,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I would have to say they at least doubled in the past year and a half since we've been looking.
Yeah.
I know that probably 10, 15 minutes from our house, like as you're leaving like Columbia going like the back road to Centralia, there's like 10 acre plots that's for sale kind of out in the country.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Yeah, there's lots of stuff going on in the chat here, guys. Guys, I'll get to your stuff here. Prepper POV did say something that caught my eye immediately because I'm a guy. They just blew up like 8 pounds of tannerite at a bachelor party. He had a good time there. He says he can't wait for
That made
his.
a heck of a bang.
Yes, it did. Yeah, I imagine that did. Let's see. Can't wait for my my silencing device. Maybe is what he's saying. He's been waiting 6 months. Hopefully, in Missouri, we can get around that here real soon. Possibly 2022 legislative season. Okay. All right. Thank you, Sheraton. Thank you. Oh, Prepared Homestead says the meeting is October 3rd. Thank you very much for that. Let me go ahead and advertise for that, if you don't mind, real quick, Travis. For those of you who don't know, the Prepared Homestead, who is typing real time in the YouTube chat right now, is Travis, the Prepared Homestead channel. And he has a meeting virtually, it's almost about every 30 days, sometimes 5 weeks. And the next meeting he has, it's in Texas County, Missouri. Just email him if you would like to go to his meeting, and he'll get you the address. And his email address, I'm sure he'll put in the chat here. Those are really, really good meetings, gang. I highly recommend that you, at some point, come to one of his meetings, especially if you want to set up something yourself. Learn from the best. That's what I'm doing. And Travis holds pretty good meetings. And Texas County, Missouri, if you want a general area.
I'll second that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll second that. Jimmy D talking here now. I love Travis's meetings. The quality of people there is second to none.
Let's see. He says he couldn't get a date worked out in September. It was pretty well booked. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Oldie P is here. Hey there, Oldie. Oldie, I met you at Travis's meeting too. So that was pretty cool. Those meet and greets in real life are something else, gang. I can't say enough about that. He's working on getting caught up in emails. If you want directions, put something in the subject line about the meeting so I see it. So guys, when you send Travis an email, please put in the subject line, Travis, I need directions, or I need an address, something like that. So that way he can catch that really quickly, because if he's anything like me, I sort through between 6 email accounts. I sort through about 300 emails a day. So it can be overwhelming, especially if you have to skip a day or two, because you don't have time to get to it. There we go, preparedhomestead@protonmail.com. That's Travis's email. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, gang. We'll continue the conversation here. I want to thank Liberty again for updating me with 27 states now that have signed on to this class action lawsuit against the Biden administration. And but that doesn't end there. We have to be working the other side of this with legislation in the state of Missouri. We can't sit back and hope that's what it is, that a DC court is going to see the 27 states' point of view over Biden. You guys know what I mean by this. There's a lot of corruption out there. There's a lot of corruption around there, around DC. We need to work it on our side too. And our side is not sitting back and hoping that our local politicians do the right thing. The right thing is for us to make sure the politicians understand what we want. This is what we're going to do. So we work with them. We can either, actually be a part of the process, or we can be governed. This is a choice we have to make as individuals.
Well, I certainly vote that we all show up in Jefferson City and make a big, fat, stinking noise.
Mm.
Hey, I'd like to make a suggestion too.
Sure.
Between now and Wednesday, what do you say we should keep getting on the phones and the emails and say, instead of just filing a lawsuit, get a special legislative session together and pass a law here in Missouri?
Okay. Well, I'll tell you
Absolutely.
what. You know what?
At least
Go ahead.
out there, and then when you go there Wednesday, see if any of the representatives that show up or whatever talk about it.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Jimmy. This is actually really important, gang. It's as important and as fun as SEPA was to get done, and it wasn't just fun. There was a roller coaster ride, emotionally and actually psychologically, getting SEPA done. Maybe what we should do is do a Ubatubathon on Monday, and go on for many hours and encourage people to come on and talk about the phone calls they've been making. I'll make phone calls live on the air, like we did, for SEPA. This is important.
Yeah, the Ubatubathon. I love Ubatubathons.
Okay.
I think the last one we did was 11 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we did 2 that were 11 hours long. Ryan says, what day is the rally in Jeff? It's on Wednesday. I don't have the details yet. I have been looking. I can't find any handouts or any direct information, any official information on the rally, but I think that's coming really, really quick. I think that'll be here. In fact, I'm going to check my email real quick. I reached out to a gal in Right Side Moms to see if, let's see. Nope. I do not have any official information yet. But I do think, and once again, I don't know this to be a fact, gang, but I think this rally is being sponsored by Right Side Moms. And we're definitely very closely aligned with that organization. They want the same things we want. So, we're happy to be working with them to work towards a freer Missouri with more liberties, for sure. Okay, so right now, I think the Ubatubathon thing, I think we'll probably do on Monday. I don't know exactly what time we'll start, but it'll probably be like 10 o'clock in the morning. So we'll just start doing a live broadcast through our Discord. I'll probably be making phone calls like I famously do. I'll have it on speakerphone right up to the microphone so you guys can hear me make the phone calls. Some of them are fun. Sometimes people say I'm a little over the top or a little dramatic or whatever, but it gets the job done. Passkey, go ahead.
Have that famous gun show again, Patrick?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up really bad on us, Jimmy. We didn't quite get that.
The famous gun show.
Oh, no, we won't do that anymore. Yeah, we won't do that anymore. Found out that was against the rules. That was actually a little thing I was doing while we were waiting for the filibuster to end in the Senate, and I was holding up guns, actually, to the camera, and then people were typing in real time what kind of gun it was, or what the manufacturer was, what the model was. We won't do that again, though. Okay, Sheraton, thank you for the update on the email. That way you guys, I'm starting to use the emails now, actually with the new email system. So hopefully you guys who are in the system got emails to let you know about this live stream tonight. And I also did it the other day as well. So we'll use that email system for really important stuff. And as soon as I have information on this rally, that will also go out via email. If you haven't gotten on our email system yet, it's really simple to do. Go to our poorly put together website, which is being worked on as we speak. Trust me, guys, it's being worked on, which is MissouriLibertyAlliance.com. Scroll down just a little bit, and you'll see there's a form to fill out. And in that form is email. You don't have to put in an address and a telephone number if you don't want to. However, I'll probably start doing texting alerts too. But if you fill that out, you'll get on the email list. And anytime there's pertinent information, we send out an email. Okay. Why, Patrick? Nevada, I need you to be a little more specific. Nevada Cariopica. Let's see. Let's see. Think you can. I truly believe that you have just been overrun by the commies and their cheating ways. So, would you describe the government in Rhode Island as communist? Do you think you can? They're getting pretty close.
Bad.
Yep.
It's pretty bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
One good thing about Rhode Island is that it's a really small state, so you'd think it would be more closer to the people and easier to enact change in a small state like that.
Well, that's part of the problem. It's so small that everybody knows everybody, and if you want something done, it doesn't take much to get it done. An envelope here, an envelope there. Next thing you know, you have a housing development in a swamp.
In the swamp. You are pretty close to the swamp when you're in Rhode Island.
It is this. Well, I mean, it's like swamp land.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally been done.
Okay. Prepared Homestead says, have you seen the joint letter from the Missouri senators to Governor Parson? I actually have it up on my screen. And this is part one of the letter. I did link it, and I will link it again real quick. Right here in the chat on YouTube, so you guys have immediate access to the letter. This went out yesterday. It's from 16 senators. And I did point out that there are some senators missing from this document. And that's really a shame. There are some senators' names missing from here that should be on here because they have spoken very, very loudly. And with all the authority of their office and how they condemn what Biden is doing right now, but they didn't throw their name on the letter. Rowden is definitely one of the ones we're talking about. Schatz is another. So that's why I said talk is cheap, gang. When you're dealing with politicians, and by the way, I'm proud to say that my senator is on there right now, Eric Burleson. So,
that's good.
Yep. Bill Eigel. You guys know him from St. Charles County. I mean, there's some big names in here. Rick Bratton. Carla Esslinger. Let's see. We've got Andrew Koenig on there. Jeannie Riddle. These guys were all champions of SEPA.
Mike Moon.
Mike Moon. There we go. Thank you.
Moon.
Yep. Yeah, Liberty says the rodent. Rowden. It's really difficult to get away from that, and I'm trying to get away from that. But I was calling him during SEPA rodent instead of Rowden.
Well, what we really should do is call the ones that haven't put their names on it and focus on them.
Yep. Yep. If you have another link to the letter, Travis, rather than my Facebook grab from Right Side Moms, feel free to throw it in here if you don't mind, sir. It would be very much appreciated. This is the only one I could find was, once again, on Right Side Moms. All the SEPA supporters. Yep. Well, actually, there's SEPA supporters missing from here, actually. So, but yes, all of these guys did support SEPA, to be sure. But we are missing some, is all that I'm saying. Yep, I wish I could find information in real time right now about what time that rally is going on. And by the way, I can't recommend Right Side Mom's Facebook enough to you guys. It is a great resource. They do get a lot of stuff, and in many cases, they get stuff quicker and sooner than I do. So they've got a lot of ladies working this. I mean, it just, wow, they're doing a great job. They're all over this school thing with face diapers and everything, too. They're all over it. And Jody, basically, Jody Grace has been a wonderful contact. So, yeah, I'm not finding anything on the rally, guys. Nothing. I will find it, though, and I will get it to you. And those of you who are on the email list on the website, you guys will get it direct by email. We'll do the Ubatubathon on Monday, and by then I'll have all the information. So be sure to check back with us by Tuesday if you're not on the email list. Okay, Travis says he's trying to get a better link. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see. Yep, Senator Onder is on board. That is correct. Yep, I'm sorry, guys. I'll put that up again if you guys wanted to look at that again. Get a close-up look here of the signatures on the list. There we go. That way you guys can take, and I won't move the mouse or anything. You guys want to check and see if your senator is on the list here. If your senator's not on the list, you know what to do, don't you? It's time to pick up that phone, shoot out an email to your senator, get their name on the list. Guys, I can't say this strongly enough. I approve of what the governor's doing. But that alone is not enough to make me feel comfortable. Because what Biden did was shoot the first volley in a civil dispute, if you will.
Yeah.
He really, truly did. This is...
Yeah, he landed the first shot. And
yes,
what
he
we're doing
did.
Now it's not much of a counter.
Yep. That's right. You know, we need to counter back using all the tools at our disposal, Constitution, you know, in the Constitution of the United States, the Missouri Constitution. And remember, guys, this is way overreach. So, you know, it's already looking bad, you know, for the Biden administration. But we need to protect ourselves here in the state. And the senators want to do it. There's 16 senators on this list right here that want to help you. But we need more names on that list, gang. So we got to make phone calls. And I am not sure exactly what's going on in the House, even though I talked to a House member this morning. I don't know that there's a list with signatures or anything like that in the House at this time. I don't know that at this time. Okay, let's...
Hey, Patrick.
Hey there.
Hey, I sent a message to Jody through Right Side Moms a while ago, try to get some info from her,
Okay.
and let her know that we were doing a live stream on YouTube.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much. And thank you to Liberty Revolutionary. Literally, this is, I'm going to go ahead and blow this up here. This is a timeline of how this goes. And by the way, this is totalitarianism, pandemic. They're basically the same thing as far as language is concerned. You guys remember when it was just 2 weeks to flatten the curve? That's all they were asking. Just 2 weeks. That's all they wanted. That's all they wanted. And then it was, hey, we just need you to wear this face diaper like all the time. It's just a face diaper. Come on, guys. It's a little paper thing. Then it was social distancing, 6 feet. Then it's just a serum. And now, of course, it's just a booster. And after that is, hey, it's just a piece of paper passport. Followed by, hey, listen, it's just an app on your phone. That's all it is. Why are you getting so upset? It's just an app. Look at all the apps you have on your phone. One more is not going to hurt you. Then it's just a tracker. Then it's just denial of Medicare. Literally, hey, listen, if you're not serumized, we can't really accept you in this hospital. We have a policy against that. Then it's just, hey, it's just a hotel. You can't stay in a hotel. You can, get a bed and breakfast, or call around to other places. It's just a quarantine. It's just people that refuse the serum. We literally can't have them getting sick and spreading sickness to others. It's just a 2-week quarantine is all we're doing here for the non-serumized. It's just a camp, guys. It's just a FEMA camp. We put your families in there for a couple of weeks because you refuse the serum. You're not doing what's best for society. We need to go into this camp. Oh, it's just jail. Come on. Yeah, you've made a choice. You don't want the serum, so you go to jail. And then it's just a firing squad. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that, Liberty. I remember when it was just 2 weeks to flatten the curve, gang. I remember that very, very well. That's all they were asking, just 2 weeks. Not a big thing.
Hey, you know what? I just got thinking about something. That little list that you just posted.
Yeah.
That had the signature of the senators.
Yes.
I wonder if one of them would be interested in introducing legislation, to pass a law here in Missouri. And I just got to think about something else too. Not just passing a law saying we won't follow the mandates, but it needs like what would be the word? A punishment mechanism, just like with SEPA.
Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody tried to defy it, then you have the right to sue or something. Like, let's say, you pass a law here in Missouri not allowing any of those mandates that Biden's trying to push down our throats. Mm-hmm. And if anybody here in Missouri tries to implement them, then they could be subject to being taken to court and sued. In other words, adding teeth to that law.
Yep. Well,
if we could pass something like that here in Missouri, the Biden administration is going to send a letter and try and go after it hard. And that's great, man. That's free advertising. That's letting the rest of the country know, hey, you can do this, just like we do with SEPA.
Yep.
And what happened with SEPA? Did the feds come in here and take all of our guns away or take over the state? No. In fact, some of the ATF left.
Yep, they sure didn't. Yeah, everyone who is attached to the ATF in the state of Missouri has resigned their ATF positions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
You can pass these laws. They don't have the manpower to come in here and stop you. And that's what we need to do. Instead of just, like I said, that's great that the governor went and, they're getting ready to file a lawsuit, but they're taking the shot first, and they don't have much of a counter. We need to get an emergency session, get on the phones, the emails, and tell them, hey, we need an emergency session and pass a law to actually stop this here in Missouri. And if anybody tries to, enforce those mandates, then they can be subject to a penalty. Something with teeth, just like same way with SEPA.
Yeah.
And the government ain't going to come in here and come get us, just like they didn't with SEPA.
Well,
but they will back off.
If they can make OSHA stick. And that's a big if, guys. I'm not smart enough to know this, honestly. If they can make OSHA stick, I'm not sure 10th Amendment or anti-commandeering doctrine can get us out of that situation. We may have to take a different avenue.
Yeah, but you know what? Even if you do pass it, they would still have to file a lawsuit. In other words, you're being the aggressor. You're taking the first shot at them, and you're forcing them to go the long route and file a lawsuit. And that buys us more time.
Yep.
I was just wondering if, that little piece of paper at those had those signatures. If any of those people would be interested in trying to introduce that kind of legislation, or calling for an emergency session, trying to introduce something like that.
Yep. It's worth asking. I'm not sure exactly how that works either. If they can actually get standard legislation through an emergency session when they're technically out of session. I'm not sure of the procedures. I should know this, but I don't.
Well, we should ask.
Yep, we need to ask a question. That's right. Well, during the Yuba-Tubathon, maybe I can get my senator on the horn here, and we can ask them these direct questions.
Man, we should get it started, get it rolling. At least force them to give us some kind of an answer. Say, yeah, we can do it. No, we can't do it. Yep. No, you can't do it. Why?
Yep.
What's the holdup?
Yep.
As a matter of fact, Rich, unless it's got teeth, I'm not even. They can make all the laws they want. Law has to have teeth.
You have to have that punishment mechanism. I don't know a better word for it, but just same thing with SEPA. And like you said, we introduced SEPA. The feds didn't come in, take the state over, or none of that stuff. In fact, we backed them off. We can do the same thing with this. And if we do this here in Missouri, then all the other states are going to start taking notice. Instead of just saying, okay, we're standing up against this. I mean, that's not. That's just like with those SAFA laws they passed, were basically resolutions. You know, I mean, we really need to get here, take the offensive on this quick. Just be swift, severe, brutal, and merciless, and just get on to those
Agreed.
legislators.
Yeah.
I mean,
Agreed.
this ain't fun and games, folks. This, I mean, it's insane. If this was 30 years ago and somebody told me all this is going to happen, I'd be like, you nuts. If somebody would tell me, hey, we're going to have a president who's going to call half of America a domestic terrorist, I'd say that guy was out of his mind. I mean, you know, you probably got a whole generation now that's grown up with this and don't know no different. But when I was a kid and growing up to what it's like now, it's all gone insane. You know, we got to put our foot down, and that's how we're going to do it. Is through the states. You know, we did it with SAFA. We can do it with this too.
Yeah. Well, you and I
So
come from
I
the same
wonder.
generation. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Scott.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Hey, so did y'all hear like a few weeks ago where OSHA was going to put in there like if you had some kind of reaction to the jab that you could file a workman's comp claim? So I would assume that they would reverse that act then if they're going to try to implement this jab or whatever.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm talking about? You hadn't heard that?
I had not.
Oh,
I did hear
you
it,
see,
but you never can tell what's going to happen. You know what I mean? These guys,
right.
I think they're just guessing from one little session they have, a little brainstorming session, to the next one. You know, they're changing things left and right. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can't find that. Give me a second.
Yeah. And Matt Perry wrote something really funny in the YouTube chat. We need a new rallying cry. Maybe don't shed on me. I don't want your pathogens. Get off. Let's see. Let's see. That list, when I was reading out that list, it sounds a lot like a history lesson I was taught about Germany. That's from Ultra CDP. Yep, it's a pretty scary list, actually, but we're going down that list one thing at a time. It's happening. And by the way, totalitarianism, pandemic, the language, this is psychology, the language is the same. It's the same language. Lockdown is one of the words that's used in both, that people understand and they get it. I don't want to go through any of the other keywords right now. Lockdown you can get away with, but many of the others that it will get us in trouble. So, yeah, the psychology of the situation doesn't escape me either. We're talking mainly about the politics of it, but there's a psychology here too, gang. Just like Casey Rich was saying, when I'm probably among the last generation, when we were kids, our parents would say to us, "You could be president someday if you wanted to." I don't think parents say that to their kids anymore. I think they're wising up. You don't want your kids in politics, basically. You don't want them there. You certainly don't want them to aspire to be in politics anyway. If you land there by accident, that's one thing, but that's all you want to do, that could be another thing completely. Let's see. Let's see. Mental warfare. That's right. Psychological warfare. PSYOP. A lot of this is a PSYOP, gang. Okay. Anti-commandeering would be a problem because OSHA works on arbitrary fines, no prosecution. It's coercion of business, not using Missouri police. OSHA and those who comply with OSHA would have to be targeted. That's kind of what I was alluding to, Liberty, but thank you very much for the clarification. Go ahead.
I had posted in the YouTube chat, I'm juicing with Jen, by the way, that I believe this is universal. Do we all remember when we were kids and watched Saturday morning, how a bill became a law?
Yeah.
That the only people that can pass laws is Congress, whether it's state Congress or federal Congress. So going to the senators is great. They can only add on to a bill that would become a law. So we need to start at our congressmen and women to pass any laws that we want. And we need to make sure, like somebody else mentioned, that it has teeth.
Hmm.
And can it be challenged federally? Absolutely, because federal law, any state law cannot be less than a federal law, kind of like marijuana laws. It's legal here in Oregon recreationally, but in Missouri it's not, because federally marijuana is illegal. So they're just not they're not attacking it right now. They could come into Oregon and say, you're going to stop selling marijuana. They have every right to, because no law made by the federal government in a state can be less than what the federal government states. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's how it goes. So if you want to create a new law to combat all this executive order, it's going to be less than that executive order, but at least it's a starting point where then you can have footing to sue.
Well, it's. I think it might be a little more complicated than that, because the 10th Amendment basically gives states all the rights. The federal government has very few. In fact, what it has is very specific confines and boundaries. The stuff that's being done through executive action, about 98% of it's wholly illegal. It just can't be done. So, what Biden is doing is he's not doing through Congress, he's doing through executive decree or executive fiat. I'm not sure that's legal to begin with. Go ahead.
Well, I agree 100%. It shouldn't be legal at all. Congress is the ones that's supposed to do that through bills.
Right.
And our country's so screwed up right now.
Yes, it is. I agree. This is why we're in the state we're in. We have to start looking at this on a state level, gang. And it doesn't matter what state you're in. If you're in California, or if you're in Illinois, or if you're in Kansas, you guys have to start looking at this on a state playing field now. You know, this is the way to do it. There, just like Jen had said, Washington, D.C. is just a mess. It is a corrupt sewage mess. There's really no fixing it, not without something extreme. And we're not going to go any further than that. So we work on it on our state level. The rights belong to the states anyway. Everything that wasn't assigned to the federal government in the Constitution belongs to the states. 10th Amendment. And second part of the 10th Amendment gives us anti-commandeering doctrine. You know, James Madison, made us well aware of that. So that's what we did with SEPA. We can figure it out for other things too. It's time for the states to actually take care of their residents. That's what we're doing in Missouri. That's what DeSantis is doing in Florida, by the way. We can't take that away from DeSantis. I don't live in Florida, so I'm not going to tout him all the time, but he is one heck of a governor, and he is definitely looking out for his folks. I wish Parsons was more like DeSantis sometimes. So, but I'm pretty sure that we can get Parsons, to do what we want, with enough, enough, emails and phone calls. We got it done with SEPA.
Enough noise.
Enough noise. Yep. Let's see. Liberty Revolutionary, who is always a good resource. State law supersedes federal law within the boundaries of the state. The states are not bound to govern as the feds say. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. The states literally can make up their own laws, totally separate from the federal government's laws. And when the Fed makes laws and says, all right, state, you start enforcing our federal laws, and the states say no, that's 10th Amendment rights. It's very simple. And then they can use anti-commandeering doctrine to make sure that their federal laws are never enforced in that state. And any state can do this. Any state. Even California.
I think that Jen was referring to the supremacy clause. And like you say, if it wasn't given, if the Fed wasn't given the power initially, they can't claim that they have the power now. I mean, the Constitution, like you said, Patrick, gives them a very limited scope. And I don't remember reading anything in my Constitution about putting down a medical mandate.
Yeah.
So that would be left to the states, and the states could basically tell them to go pound sand.
Yep, they keep saying they have precedents during the Spanish flu. I don't think that's true, though. We need to look into that a little bit further because I don't think they forced anyone to do it. There wasn't a mandate forcing. By the way, thank you, Travis. Travis put in a direct link into the letter for Parson from the 16 senators. If you guys look, scroll up in the YouTube chat, it's the last link that Travis put in. I have it up on the screen now, and I like this a whole lot better. It's easier to read. The one that we had from Right Side Moms, although it was wonderful to first see it there, it was a scanned copy. It wasn't as clear. If you guys want to take that letter and share it on your social medias, Travis just gave you a link to do so. So please do. And that reminds me, and I hate to ask this all the time, don't be afraid to share our information out, gang. We're trying to grow this network. So, if you like what we're doing at the Missouri Liberty Alliance, please do share our YouTube channel, our Twitter account, our Facebook. The Facebook is really active, by the way, very active. Feel free to share it out on your socials and get like-minded people to come and join us with the Alliance. Together we are strong. The more people we have, the bigger voice we have in Jeff City. And, it's the same thing with Right Side Moms. They're trying, to grow as fast as possible before the legislative season begins too. Patrick, you should read the link to the article I posted, also from the Missouri Times. Okay, gotcha. I'll look back for the Missouri Times. Here we go. Here's the Missouri Times. Biden's serum mandate. 16 GOP senators request special session. There we go. So actually, it made it all the way to the Missouri Times already. So I will link that up in case it's gone too far back for you guys. This is from Travis with love. Here's the link directly to the Missouri Times article. Thank you again, Travis. So, yeah, guys, we're fighting. I don't necessarily know what other states are doing right now. I really don't. I suspect that, for instance, Florida is fighting, Texas is fighting, and there's other states that you could, say probably most likely are fighting. For instance, West Virginia comes to mind. There are a bunch of fighters over there. South Dakota, another one. Thank you, Jimmy. But Missouri is fighting too. But it's because of, people like us we already have a liberty-minded Senate, at least 16 of them, and that's virtually half of the entire Senate on that letter, by the way, Guy. I think we have 32 or 33 senators. Someone can correct me if they know the actual number. So we're fighting too. Right Side Moms is fighting. Even Travis. Travis is not very happy with this situation either. You guys can ask him directly in the YouTube chat right now. This is scary stuff. This is, SEPA was fun. It's not fun anymore. This is scary. This is downright scary, especially those of us who have kids and grandkids. This is really, really, really bad stuff, gang. Let's go ahead and make sure that Missouri fights this tooth and nail. We don't need to lose our freedoms. Over what? Bad science, a pandemic? That's what we lose our rights over? Because the dollar's failing and they need a way to cover it up and they need something to blame other than the bankers and the politicians that put us in this mess to begin with? No, not on my watch. We're fighting this. So,
also, not to mention about kids and grandkids, the one big corp is about to submit their serum for 5 and up.
Yep, I heard about that. And that's official now. They've been cleared for 5 years old now, all the way down to 5. They want to get it down to... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'll tell you what that is. That's flat disgusting.
Yep.
It is, because it was never tested on anyone under the age of 18.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What's more disgusting is the parents are going to line up to give their kids a shot. It's amazing to watch.
Yep.
Yeah, my granddaughter will be 5 September 25th.
Yep. Well, guys, we fight this. We say no. And we, basically, there is nothing else left to do. I mean, we literally can't compromise on this. I'm not taking the shot. I'm not doing it. My daughter's not doing it. My wife's not doing it. My grandkids aren't doing it. We're just, no, we're not doing it. And if that means we're sub-citizens now, we lose rights because we said no to the serum. Um, I mean, this is not necessarily a country you want to live in anymore, but everyone's doing it at the same time. Every country, just like all of our currencies are falling at the same time. Just like we're all in never-ending crisis at the same time now, in lockstep with Johnny, like in that old movie Chicago. We can't seem to get out of this feedback cycle of constant crisis. You guys have to be afraid all the time. The fear porn's being poured into your brain in every way imaginable. But it's time to turn that fear to something else. It's time to fight. So those of you who... Go ahead.
Sorry, fear is a very powerful motivator for a lot of people. Unfortunately, fear to die, fear, of giving it to someone or someone that they love. And I understand that. However, if we live in the blessing that God is the ultimate healer and physician, and know that he's not going to give to us anything we cannot handle, then I go to bed every night and ask for forgiveness because I don't live a blessed life every day. I know I'm a sinner first. Then I know that if I die from some major disease, then so be it. That was written before I was even born. We can't live in fear. I live every day as if it's my last.
That's good advice, Jen. That's really good advice. That's something I do, by the way. I agree with Jen. When I go to bed at night, what I do when my head hits the pillow is I ask for forgiveness for anyone that I have possibly offended, anything that I have done wrong. That's actually part of my routine. It's an old habit from growing up with religious parents, and a religious family, but I think it's a good way to live. And I don't want to hurt anybody. And I know, those of us in the Missouri Liberty Alliance, we don't want to hurt anybody, but we don't want anyone hurting us either. So this is not too much to ask. And more than that, the overreach is hitting astounding levels from Washington, D.C. This is not a sit back and, hey guys, this whole thing will blow over. This isn't going to blow over, gang. They're going to push this as hard as they can. And what's really amazing about it is technically they're losing. The science is breaking down. I'm sorry, I should say the science fiction. It's breaking down. It doesn't work. Everything about the science, but we could do the science of global warming too. We could do that science too. That broke down too. Then it became climate change. I'm old enough to remember when we were all going to die from an ice age. And then they switched it and they said, no, now we're all going to burn up. We're all going to die from, it's going to be too hot. And then they changed it to erratic weather patterns caused by global climate change, right? They keep switching the goalposts, gang. They do it with the beer flu too. Remember when it was 50%? If we could just serumize 50% of the public, we'll have herd immunity. Herd immunity will be ours and we'll all be safe. Then they moved it. Well, it's 70%. And then they moved it to 80%. Now they're at 90%. They say it's going to take... What? You mean my immune system won't help me at all? I'm doomed without this serum? That's exactly what they're saying in this science fiction story. We're smarter than that. We're smarter than that. I know people...
Well, for what it's worth, I'm sorry, Patrick.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, for what it's worth, and I may be just a crotchety old 65-year-old guy, but I ain't scared. I ain't buying their bull, and I am going to fight this thing, like I said, as loud and as long as I can. And if God didn't give me the immune system I need, so be it.
Mm-hmm.
The hell with them.
Yep.
I already got my immunization naturally, so I'm good.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, you know what? I'm reading this Missouri Times article here, or Riverfront Times, whatever it was, about the senators requesting a special session. Okay, you remember Senator Crab Cakes, right? Was it
Yeah,
Charlie
crab cakes.
Huff?
That'd be Huff.
Yeah, okay. Get
Okay.
this. Let me read this here. Huff, one of the Republican senators who didn't sign onto the special session request, said his constituents are concerned about the ramifications of the mandate, but he believes the best remedy, and that's in quotes, is a court rather than a special session. Now, here's what he says, or this is their quote on him. Everyone's lives and businesses are different. I believe trying to do a one size fits all regulation will grow government and take away personal liberties, Huff said. I believe the best course of action is to pursue a legal remedy through the Attorney General's office.
Through the Attorney General's office.
Yeah.
Not through our elected representation that could actually put a bill in that could actually protect the Missouri people. This is the
Hey,
best.
can I keep
Go ahead.
can I keep reading?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's
Oh,
all right.
let me, Rich, before you get there, just let me say one thing. Man, this guy just keeps showing his true colors, doesn't he?
Yep.
I mean, he's a communist through and through. He needs to have his butt thrown out of there.
Yeah, but this gets better. All right, let's see. Where was I? Okay. Also notably missing from this request were Senate President Pro Tem Dave Schatz and Majority Floor Leader Caleb Roden. All right, let's see. As a small business owner, this is in quotes, who would be subjugated to President Biden's unconstitutional mandate, I, nor the Missouri Senate, will stand idly by and allow this inexcusable power to harm Missourians, Schatz said in a news release from the governor's office. What the Biden administration is attempting to do will only worsen the workforce shortages businesses across the country are facing and is an absolute affront to our American freedoms. Okay, well, that's all well and good, but why isn't he signing this thing for an emergency session?
Yep, that's
Talk
right.
is cheap.
That's because talk is cheap. And by the way, thank you for bringing that up because I didn't even think of crab cakes. Guys, we had 3 problems with SEPA. Their names were Schatz, Rowden, and Huff. We lovingly call him crab cakes. You'll have to go back to Truth, Money, and Freedom to find out why. But those 3 guys were a serious problem getting SEPA passed. And oddly enough, those 3 senators' names are not on that document. So I just want to point that out. And I know other people would say, oh, you're making enemies, Patrick. You're making enemies. All I'm doing is pointing out a fact, is all I'm doing. A fact.
Facts are facts.
The facts are facts. 3 people that caused us problems with SEPA are also not willing to protect us against Biden, or at least not putting their names on a document. They are putting into their Twitter and Facebook accounts how much they dislike what Biden's doing. But why not put that to paper and say, we need a special session here to take care of it?
Yeah. Well, you know what I get from this is when you have those guys, Schatz, Roden, and who's the other one there? But well, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Huff. When you have those guys that say, yeah, let's take this to court, but they don't want to sign onto this, I can tell you right now, the court case ain't going to do any good.
Yep.
Because if they're pushing it so hard and they're not willing to call a special session, you know nothing's going to happen. It's just like with SEPA. If we never would have put the pressure on them and kept the calls up and forced them to put that thing on the floor for a vote, it never would have happened. Even though it was one of the first pieces of legislation to get it, to pass the House.
Yep.
It still almost didn't do it.
Yep.
And
They waited until the last minute, man.
Yeah, and when you got these 3 guys sitting here saying, "Oh yeah, we need to settle this. We need to, sue them or whatever, or take this to court," that's worthless. That's why they're pushing for that, because they already kind of showed what they're like and what they're about. They sit there and talk like, yeah, this is, these mandates are horrible and everything, but we need to settle. We need to take care of this in the courts. And we all know that by the time you get a court case, they can already be pushing this mandate. So, the people that signed their name to that little thing calling for an emergency session, man, we need to be thanking those people.
Yes, we do.
Call them up and say,
and we'll do that.
And in fact,
Go ahead.
In fact, I should probably ask any of them if they, because we need not only just pass law here in Missouri, but it's got to have ramifications if you try to break that law.
That's right.
Just like we say, it's got to have teeth.
You bet.
You can't otherwise it's just a resolution. we need to contact these guys and ask them if any of them be interested, because you can, the Senate can introduce legislation too, right, along with the House.
Mhm. Yep, they can.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought here in Missouri. Okay. But yeah, let's. I mean, you already got these people signing saying we need a special session. Why not ask them, hey, if you're going to get a special session together, let's push for a law that's going to stop it, and that law is going to have teeth. That if the feds try and force anybody to take a vaccination or fire them or let them go, then whoever calls that shot has got to pay. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yep.
if anybody on the state level tries to force that, then they're subject to a fine or whatever.
Mhm.
Give it that teeth. Otherwise, it's just a resolution.
Rich, that would be the purpose of the special session, is to create
Yeah.
a law. Otherwise, I don't know what they'd all do, sit around and
But
talk about it.
You got to make
Yeah,
sure
so
that
that's-
law has punishment ramifications. It's got to have the teeth.
I agree with that 100%. There's no doubt about it. I'll be, Wednesday or whatever it is up at Jeff City. I'll make myself a sign that says, "Hey, you guys need to protect the citizens, and you need to do it with a law that has consequences."
Because if
So-
these people are already willing to put their names on this document saying, hey, we need a special session, I'll bet you can get one of them to try and introduce legislation like that out
Yes.
of that group.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And by the way,
We need to contact them too and ask them about it.
yeah, the Yuba Tubathon. Let's call them up during the
Yeah.
Yuba Tubathon. Well, we'll try to anyway, because they won't be in their offices on Monday. They will be there on Wednesday. Hence the rally. That's veto day, by the way, gang. That's an official day that they're there anyway.
We got to go on the aggressive on this, man. We
We
got
do.
to punch first.
And
Swift, severe, brutal, and merciless.
that's right. And those
Go
of
at
you
'em, man.
those of you in the YouTube chat, I think you guys are responding to, sometimes people say I'm burning my bridges here. Guys, we're going after corruption here. If it's going to be me, I'll take the fall. I will take the fall, but I can't put up with corruption anymore. We're trying to clean up our state. We're trying to make this a livable situation with some freedom. So I I don't know what else to say. If Schatz wants to talk very publicly and openly on Twitter and say how much he hates Biden and what he's doing, and it's un-American, it's unpatriotic, and it's overreach, put your name on the damn document, Schatz. Don't just sit there and tell us on Twitter how awesome you are. Prove it. It's time for the rubber to hit the road.
You know what? Hey, Patrick, you should invite any one of these senators or any congressman, representative in the state of Missouri is just as welcome as me or anybody else to pop onto this Missouri Liberty Alliance Discord channel. Let's hear from them. Hey, pop in here, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe we can contact them before that YouTubeathon and say, hey, you guys should check this out. You want to speak up on this, about signing your name on this kind of
Yeah, there you go.
session. Let's see if we can get some of them to talk.
You betcha. I'll bet you there's about 3 or 4 of them I can reach out to, and I'll definitely give an invitation to. How about that?
I'll send emails and try and make calls over the weekend
There you go.
or tomorrow.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what then. Tomorrow morning, I'll get the event started on YouTube, so you'll have something to link to them before you send the emails out. How's that?
Okay, that's great.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool beans. Yeah, we'll try and get some senators and representatives to come in during the Yuba Tubathon. Yeah, this is serious. I'm sorry for swearing earlier, guys. I am so mad at those 3. They
We're
tried to
so
screw us
ashamed.
on SEPA, and now they're not showing up when we need them. To shore up our state, to shore up our borders, to protect our citizens, our residents from the tyranny that's coming down from the federal government. We all need to be mad. We all need to be mad. This is not a time to sit back and go, oh, don't worry, it'll sort itself out.
What we're doing here is what we're supposed to be doing as citizens of this state. The governor he took this job. Senators and representatives, they took their job, and their job is to protect Missouri and Missouri citizens. And right now, with what's going on in Biden, it's overreach. It ain't just, well, I won't get into that, but I'm telling you, man, it's their job to do. This stuff we're asking them to do, it's not radical or anything. It's what we're supposed to do as citizens, and they're supposed to respond to it.
And it's their job. And it's their job. They're supposed to.
we've just let it go over the years. Like, you vote for somebody and they take care of it. It's like, we kind of lost that. I mean, in order to be for the people, it has to be of and by. We have to take control. We have to take action. We got to go on the aggressive. Because we're just asking them to do what they're supposed to do.
Yep. And by the way, we love Missouri. We're all in Missouri. If you're in another state, please, please pay attention to what we're doing here and emulate it as quickly as possible in your state, please. Do something. Don't let this tyranny befall your state. It's on you. Wherever state you're in, please do it. Do something. Try and get something going. Okay, go ahead, Jimmy. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, as far as shats and rodents and, Huff are concerned, listen, boys, I don't know how many lessons you need, but these guys have basically screwed us on 2 separate occasions now, as far as I'm concerned. I have no more use for them other than just to flat call them out as hypocritical government monkeys.
Yep. Well, as I said, we're all about in the alliance. We're calling out corruption wherever we see it. And I don't want to say that this is corrupt. But Jimmy's correct. The use of the word hypocrite. They're definitely against this action from the federal government, from the Biden administration, but they're not willing to put their name on a piece of paper officiating it by calling for a special session of Congress. Why not? So we'll have to find out on the Yuba-Tubathon. Go ahead.
They're not willing to put their butt on the line. And They need to be willing to put their butt on the line or they're useless.
Yep. So that's our stance, gang. Let's see. Liberty's given me something else to look at real quick here. So it's Pasaki or whatever her name is. And I have to find a way to get that audio to go through. I can't get the audio to go through, Liberty. Well, hang on. There might be another way. Hang on one second. Sorry about all the sound settings things on your screen here, guys. I gotta see if I can get this to come through. 9:30. Okay.
To cover a range of topics of mutual interest, everything from
okay, here we go.
Conversation to be wide-ranging to cover a range of topics of mutual interest, everything from COVID-19 and our efforts to address the global pandemic to regional.
What did you say?
To address the global pandemic. Global pandemic. Pandemic. Global pandemic.
In a glass case of emotion. Boy, that escalated quickly.
Global pandemic. Conversation to be wide-ranging.
Okay, you guys heard it. Apparently, Jen Psaki went ahead and said global pandemic at a live press conference. Apparently, it's sometime in September 11th. It says. Well, hang on, that's when it was posted, but I don't know when it actually happened. Did you guys hear that? Okay.
That was yesterday, Patrick.
Okay.
I think that was yesterday. I saw it. So.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, guys, it's we have to stand. This is the time to stand. Travis did a really, really great video recently about the line in the sand. Now, I could go into my line in the sand, which was the face diaper. That was my line in the sand. It wasn't with the 2-week shutdown, and it should have been with 2 weeks to flatten the curve. That should have been my line in the sand, but I wasn't smart enough, apparently, at the time. But I definitely understood what was going on with the face diapers. So with each step they've taken over my line in the sand, I'm getting angrier and more aggressive. Maybe some of you can share your experiences. Maybe you guys are feeling the same way. Every time that Biden opens up his mouth and speaks, I just get angrier and angrier. And so this is why I'm getting aggressive with the Missouri legislative body actually getting something done for us. 10th Amendment stuff, guys. This is what they're here for. This is what a state government is here for, is to protect your rights, to protect you from the federal government if need be. This is serious, outsider. I agree. Liberty, you were on top of this before most people. I wasn't with it on the 2 week shutdown. At that time, basically it was like a 2 week vacation for everybody. Everyone can use it. It'd be interesting new experience and everything. And but I also thought, okay, it'll be over with that. I was pretty naive. Okay, pandemic. Okay, you guys have anything else for us right now? Anything you can think
Yeah,
of? Go
yeah.
ahead.
There's something I want to add. Okay, there's a channel here on YouTube. It's called This Week in Missouri Politics.
Yes.
I would suggest everybody just type that into search and you'll find it says This Week in Missouri Politics with Scott Faughan. I guess that's how the last name spelled, Faughn. And this actually has some very good videos in it. Like it's got Caleb Roden on a possible bid for Congress, and it's got an interview with Caleb Roden on the withdrawal from Afghanistan. And there was a lot of stuff when SAPA was going on, and they got like a video here with Governor Mike Parson on vaccines and mask mandates. There's actually a lot of good stuff in here. There's only like 499 subscribers. My guess it's mostly newspaper people or probably your senators or representatives that are subscribed to this, so they get their news. But I would recommend, I mean, I'm not telling anybody, well, okay, maybe I'm telling, but you know what I'm saying? Check this, go on here and check this out. Because if you can start following this, and anytime you see a video that strikes you fancy or something, man, start putting comments on it, because they don't get hardly any comments in here. There's really not a lot of people, like I said, because probably just your insiders that watch this. But this would be great for everybody to get involved and start, looking at these videos, and you see something that you want to comment on, just, man, hit those comments. Let's take this thing over.
What's the name of
That's
that channel again? What's it called?
It's called This Week in Missouri Politics. Just type that, or you can even type in This Week in Missouri or whatever in the YouTube search engine, and it'll come up, and you can hit this. Look, I mean, this is a great way to get, just like making phone calls and making emails. If you're in here in all these comment sections and they're reading this stuff, they're like, whoa. Because right now there's really not much in the comment section. I think it's mostly just like political insiders and stuff that check out this channel.
Okay, I agree with you, by the way, Casey Rich, and I have now put that in the YouTube chat. This week in Yes, I did. Yep.
Found it? All right, cool.
Yep.
I would recommend everybody check this out. I would even subscribe, but I mean, that's up to you. I'm not, like I said, I don't like to push myself on anybody, but this is a great way to get, just like doing emails and phone calls. Like I said, this is probably mostly political insiders that read this stuff. So when you're getting on there and you're making comments and stuff like that, that's getting our word to them.
I agree.
They're probably going, wow, where'd these people come from?
Yep.
Again, most people don't call, most people don't email or anything like that. And most stuff like this, it's not, I don't know, it's not sexy or anything like that, as opposed to, some national thing where it's left versus right and everybody gets to vent their spleen or whatever. So most people pass this up. This is stuff you need to be checking out, making comments and getting their attention that way.
Yep.
Because there's probably a lot of like your news stations and stuff like that. They probably follow this stuff too. So
Yep.
Hey, why not make if you see a video you like or something, or that video is gets you to say, hey man, I want to comment or I want to say something. Because I know like when they were talking about SAPA and they were trying to use that what they call that man, don't get old if you can help it. I keep forgetting stuff. But anyway, I put a comment in there and addressed it, man. That's what I'm saying. This is a nice little vehicle here to help get our word out.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And by the way, I've commented there before as well. It's a pretty lonely channel. We actually
That's what I'm saying.
We have slightly fewer subs than they do on their channel, but we get a lot more comments.
Yep.
And
that's what I'm saying. We could start commenting this too.
Yep.
It's going to get their attention.
Yep. One more thing I'd like to say, gang. The attack on our channel from YouTube. There's a lot of comments that are not showing up. They're showing up in numbers. Like it'll say on some of the videos that we have, you have like 37 comments, but you can literally count them and stretch them out so the sub comments are, and then you'll be missing like 9 or 10 of them. I can't even see them on my side in the YouTube studio. So YouTube is hiding some of the comments. Now I think I figured out through the algorithmic what they're doing with the view counts, because they're killing us on the view counts. We're getting at least 2 times as many views as YouTube says, at least. During that process between 2 different measuring sticks inside YouTube Studio, it's when one counter is shut off and it's static and it doesn't move anymore and the other one's moving up, then new comments that are coming in during that period do not show up in the studio. They don't show up at all, actually. And then when this one comes to a stop, and then this one starts coming up, so that's when comments will start coming in again. But the ones that were put in during this period never show up. So it's hard to explain, but let's see. Patrick, you need to link the channel to Odyssey.com. We are linked to Odyssey.com. And it'll back up videos. Yep, we're on Odyssey. However, our live streams, the file sizes are too big. They don't get transferred over to Odyssey. So our live streams, anything over about an hour and 20 minutes never gets to Odyssey, just because of a file size issue on the live streams. But we can also take those live streams and upload them to Odyssey as well. And thank you, Voodoo. And also, one more thing, the 10th Amendment Center, Michael Bolden, he is a good friend of this channel, by the way. I know that we plug him right down in the description section of the video. You can find where his YouTube channel is, or at least his website. I highly recommend his channel as well. He's been a good friend of the state of Missouri. He was one of the background players in the beginning of SEPA legislation. And I can't recommend his organization and his YouTube videos enough. He's an inspiration to me, actually, when I watch his videos. We're in some pretty rough waters here, gang, and it's nice to know that there's smart people out there that understand how we can use the 10th Amendment to protect ourselves from the federal government. And as far as I know, Mike Bolden's the only guy out there doing this stuff. So be sure to check out his work as well.
Yeah, you'll learn something anytime. Every time you go to the 10th Amendment Center, you will learn something.
Yep, and they reported on us heavily. That was like the only coverage, the positive coverage that we had for the 10th Amendment. For the Second Amendment Preservation Act was coming from the 10th Amendment Center, by the way. They were posting stories on their website about us. Okay, last call for comments and questions, gang. Once again, I promise you, Ubatubathon on Monday, we're going to be calling senators, and I'll do that live in real time on the speakerphone like I did before. So we'll try and get some senators to come in and join us. We'll see what we can do. Casey Rich is going to help me with that little project right there. Maybe Jimmy D will come in and help a little bit, see if we can get a rep or a senator in. One that's openly put their name on a piece of paper stating then that they're going to put up with this Biden nonsense anymore. That's the kind of person we want on the show. Let's see. I want to thank all of you for joining us, for sure, especially those of you joining us, actually in Discord for the live show. And by the way, we always stay on for about another half an hour in Discord after we're done with the live broadcast. And the reason being is those who are not comfortable being on a live broadcast, and I know that that's true with some of you, you could come in and join us, and just talk with us in Discord in real time when the show's over. Let's see. Those who vote decide nothing. Those who count the vote decide everything. Joseph Stalin. Yes, I remember that quote. Let's see. Please recheck my email address because I have not received any notifications. Okay, Robin. Robin, can you do me a favor and go back there and fill out the information one more time? If you're not getting an email, it's because it's not in the system. Somehow you got missed. I apologize. And to everyone else, please go to MissouriLibertyAlliance.com. Our website is linked down below. Get on the email list if you don't mind. And that way we can get critical information out to you. we're already starting to use it now. Whenever we have a live stream going, I email folks and let them know. But when we get the information on the rally on Wednesday, you can bet your bottom dollar I will be sending that out. You know, depending on how many people go and where people are situated, maybe we could set up some sort of carpool too. I would hate to try and set something like that up on short notice, but it may be helpful for some of you. Please link on YouTube here. Oh, okay, gotcha. Missouri. MissouriLibertyAlliance.com. And maybe I need to put like a www in front of it. Here, I'll try one more time. There we go. Hopefully that'll work. Or if it doesn't, I'll just go there. Okay, there it is. It's probably wanting to put the HTTPS or whatever at the front of it. So let me paste it in here. There we go. There's the website. If you guys go there, you know, once again, fill out the form. Just scroll down just a little bit. You'll see a form, name, address, telephone number, email address. You don't have to put in your address or your phone number. If you do put in a phone number, just know that I will be putting together texting, so we can send text alerts out as well, but that's not going to come for a little bit yet. The email is a critical thing, so just your name and your email, that's critical. If you guys can put that in, that'd be great. So let's see, Sherry. Thanks to everyone for your time this evening. Thank you, Sherry, for coming in. And Lee, thank you for coming in as well. Yeah, remember what General Patton said. I think we're fighting the wrong enemy. He was referring to Russia. He wanted to go after Russia as soon as World War II was over. He saw that communism was not necessarily a good thing and could threaten and destabilize the Western world. And let's see. And yes, Travis, thank you for helping out as a mod. As always, you know, he's a featured guest here, valued friend, and has some pretty kick-butt meetings going on in Texas County, Missouri. Okay, all right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll wrap it up for now. But the fun isn't over. If you want to come in and talk to us live in Discord, I'll get that link in real quick for our Discord group. And you guys can actually come in and talk to us in real time. And I understand, like I said, some people don't want to be in a live stream event. But if you want to, please come in and visit with us. I'll be on for about another half an hour, and you can come talk to us in Discord. But thank you all again for joining. Hopefully the information was helpful. The information flow does not end here. It begins again on Monday. We'll do a Ubitubathon. We'll be calling senators. And hello to American Man, 1967, also known as California High Desert Preacher. So we'll get the information out for you about Wednesday, but keep Wednesday in mind. Those of you who are able to, let's go up to Jeff City. Show of force here. And hey, Gabriel, how's it going? Yep. Hang on. No, I see your comments, Gabriel. Okay. All right. Thank you again, guys. You guys, once again, thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone, for coming into Discord and chatting with us in real time. You guys all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. May God bless each and every one of you. And remember to check back with us on Monday. Those of you who have your email addresses in, you'll get a heads up of the live stream on Monday, a Ubitubathon event. To remember, we'll be making calls in real time to senators and representatives across the beautiful state of Missouri. Until then, see you, gang.
See you guys. Thank you, Travis.